Okay, so recently it seems like there's been something going on pretty weird with Takahata. Now, if you don't know, Takahata is a pretty big VTuber. Obviously, he's got 152,000 followers over on Twitter and also over 100,000 over on YouTube as well. Which, yeah, obviously he's a very big YouTuber in the space and has made a couple of waves in the kind of community over the past couple months or so, which again, I think is amazing. But obviously this kind of tweet came out from him recently on May 9th, pretty much saying, "You may already be aware over the past months, several creators have distanced themselves from me. Some have announced they will no longer collaborate on future content. Others have even removed past collaborations from their platform. It's become clear to me that this has been largely driven by false and hurtful rumors that have circulated behind the scenes. I'm aware where this all originated and how it is spread. While I have no desire to escalate matters or cause unnecessary distress, I have, with the guidance of legal and professional counsel, now compiled a dossier that clearly identifies the falsehoods and substantiates the truth with provable and independent evidence. I'm aware that the spread of this false narrative has been made possible by a lack of full context, but the allegations now have made and implied are simply untrue. Yes, I do know the identity of the original source, but I'm also very aware that the individual's emotional vulnerability, and I truly do not wish for them to be harmed. So at this stage, I do not intend to make their identity public or take further action of any kind. It's my sincere hope that this will never be necessary. However, I have found the situation to be, deeply difficult to process. So after careful reflection, I've decided to take a significant step back from content creation now. This has not been an easy decision, but I believe it's the right one for the time being. To those of you who've supported and continued to offer kindness, understanding, and genuine support, I'd like to say thank you. That has meant more than I can express. Now, obviously, yeah, this has been a very interesting one because obviously he doesn't actually allude to any particular person or any particular event what has happened. And it's just very weird because there is very, very little context. Now, obviously, this was posted over on r/virtual YouTubers where people were very confused, what is going on. And obviously, the person in the comments down here said this is a culmination of some event that happened quite a while ago. Whatever happened apparently had a victim/target, and multiple people stopped talking to Taka because of it. And although Taka is claiming someone is spreading false allegations, it doesn't appear that anyone close to this has made a public statement explaining the actual incident, or at least that has gone viral enough to be discovered. And obviously, this was a tweet put out by one of his friends, I'm pretty sure, obviously saying, "As someone who saw you as a best friend, heard you out twice because out of love and respect for our friendship, I didn't want to just listen to one side. I wanted to hear what you said and your experience. I made my decision to separate based on what you said to me, not what others said. Don't know about if other people are saying false things, but let me be crystal clear. What you told me is worse than what a rumor could be." I said, "I will read the dossier when it comes out. I sat with you as you cried and you bought mac and cheese when I thought the world was against you, but it took more screenshots and me talking to you a second time to get a clear picture. I feel used because I didn't know why you left and came back to the original time. The second last time you did, I still had faith in you and was worried. You came back just for the screenshots and second conversation to happen. I gave you so much benefit of the doubt because I'm an emotional person. Our friendship ended after we talked, not other rumors." So yeah, this is obviously coming from a friend of his, and obviously saying like, "Don't believe any of this. Like, people were spreading false rumors of me, and it's all bad, and everyone's listening to these false rumors." Whereas this person has actually come out and said, "I'm not listening to false rumors. I'm listening to what you have said to me, and I still believe that whatever you've done is bad." Now, they don't actually allude to what is going on. None of them say exactly what has happened, but obviously he mentions the fact that he's been like kind of seeking guidance of legal and professional counsel. So it's definitely not something like small, seeking legal and like professional counsel is definitely something kind of big. It's definitely something that shouldn't be just ignored because again, it is a big problem. Now, obviously, they say down here, and when even the people still supporting him mention that they understand people cutting him off, it definitely makes it seem like it's more than just slander. Now, these are some other tweets that have actually come out. This person here saying, "Taka has been a good friend of mine since the start of my journey. I'm sad to see him go. The situation is complicated, and I know everyone is frustrated with the vagueness of it all. But you just have to accept when the people directly involved want privacy." They said, "I remained his friend throughout this. I lost friends because of it. and I might lose more still. I saw the receipts from both sides and ultimately made the decision that it didn't feel right to cut him off. I don't fault others for doing so. We're all just trying to do what is best. This will be all I say on the matter. I hope everyone who's been impacted finds peace, and I offer warm hugs to the viewers who feel a little lost because of this. Now, obviously, yeah, this is very weird because obviously they mentioned the fact that they're not going to cut him off and they're still going to stay friends and stuff like this, but they also say, I don't fault others for doing so. So obviously this person clearly does think that he has done something wrong here that is worth kind of cutting off their friendship. Now, whether it's not, it's not obviously for them because obviously they're staying as friends and they don't want to cut him off, but they said they can see why other people want to, which again, I think is kind of crazy. And also we got this other tweet as well saying, Taco's always been a really good friend to me and gave me my first opportunity to broadcast myself to a larger platform. The entire situation sucks and I'll miss him. Please don't pry or gossip about this situation. I understand why people decided to cut ties or part ways. Again, they've done it again. They said, I understand why, which again, just seems very, very weird. They say, I've interacted heavily with Taka over the years and wish to continue having him in my life. To all those involved, I hope it's resolved as peacefully as can be. Now, again, what does this even allude to? Obviously, all these people are saying like, oh, whatever this, I feel like we can have this peacefully resolved. I'm sorry for the people involved. It's like, we don't know what is even going on here. It's really, really weird. Obviously, say I've always tried to remain a positive figure on this platform and in life, and I hope to continue doing so. Please, if you're thinking about contacting me for further information, do not. It's not my place. For people who keep scratching their head about why I posted this, if I didn't want to gossip, when a person you've interacted heavily with goes under some controversy, you need to make a statement regardless of it, if the statement is of any substance. Please don't gossip. Now, obviously, yeah, people saying, well, I think it's valid to share your positive experiences about someone. It's not a great look when there is some serious subject matters being discussed regarding this. So again, obviously people are saying, please don't gossip, which again, I think this is just so dumb. I feel like if you make a Twitter post, people are going to gossip. I think the best way, if you don't want people to not gossip, is just don't make a Twitter post. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to just keep their hands off the keyboard sometimes. We've had this with, for example, the Genshin Impact voice actor situation, where people are saying, why are people coming after me? Why are they so mad at me? It's because you're on Twitter all the goddamn time, typing up everything and saying, please don't gossip. Man, this is Twitter, okay? This isn't some nice place where everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we won't gossip about it just because you said so. No, they're going to gossip about it. They're going to talk about it as much as they want, and there's nothing that you can really do about that. Even if you reply to half the replies saying, please don't gossip. Seriously. Bro, if you didn't want it to gossip, you wouldn't have posted it in the first place. But again, I think it's kind of weird how they've started just replying, please don't gossip to all of these people. Yeah, they're saying please don't gossip about the situation, makes people want to pry and gossip even more. They say you essentially posted this great person who's done nothing but great and has done great things for me. I'm no longer wanting to associate with. Please don't speculate or ask why. So from what I gather, you want the attention but don't want to actually explain or clarify. Which is definitely true, they don't want to clarify anything, but they also want to put out a vague post on there when we don't actually know what the extent of the situation is. Now, obviously, yeah, people have been, theory, whatever, making up theories and whatever about this kind of stuff, and it's just okay, fine, but at the same time, it's just really weird and complicated. Obviously, this person says it makes it complicated, basically not so black and white. One party lied to other people. It's hard to say from the outside looking at it because we just don't know. Nobody directly involved has said anything specifically until now with no specific details. Still, nobody else has given specific details because it's not theirs to share with everyone. It more seems like to come from both of oversharing of information and being in even a small spotlight that they feel or even feel forced to say something, which again, I think, yeah, it's just a really weird situation. Obviously, we've had a lot of stuff going on in the kind of space recently with Sinder, everything like that, where essentially people have been ousted and caught for doing some pretty bad stuff in the VTubing community. And I think that, maybe this is a similar case, and that this person is actually keeping hidden some of these stuff that has actually happened. We don't know what has actually happened. There's been no mention of what in particular has been going on with the situation. But I think, being vague at it was a good but also bad move. It's good in the sense that people cannot gossip about the certain kind of intricacies of this, and they can't speculate about the intricacies if you were to bring up what had actually happened, because again, some people could start jumping to conclusions, which is a big problem in drama. But also at the same time, keeping it this vague obviously makes people speculate even further, and it could be, even worse. The speculation could be worse than, what has actually happened. And I think that a lot of these people as well kind of responding to it, and even this original post, I don't see what the point is of making a post if you're not gonna, say anything. Obviously with Taka's situation, I feel like they're just trying to get it out there, but at the same time, it would have been useful just to give us a bit of context. But for example, yeah, like this junk person here saying like, oh, I don't want to gossip, but I'm still going to talk about it anyways. It just seems like they're trying to get a couple of clicks. I think that's what it feels like to me, that they just want to get a couple clicks off the situation and then move on with it, which I just don't think is right at all. I think, yeah, saying, oh, please don't gossip. I've just made a, big tweet thread kind of talking about all of this, but please don't gossip. It's just like, come on. And obviously a lot of the kind of stuff as well from all these other people saying that I've made my decision based on what you've said to me, not on false rumors, makes it seem like there's something just a little bit more at play here that might be going on in the background. But hey, it's a very interesting situation, and I'll definitely keep you guys up to date if there is any more information out. Obviously, it's been a couple of days since this first originally came out. This was on May 9th, and there's still been no information from Taka or literally anybody else, talking about this situation. Obviously, it was very good to see that a lot of people were getting involved down in the comments down here, trying to kind of debunk a lot of the stuff that is going on. People saying if lawyers are getting involved, then it's serious, especially considering how much TFS had to deal with legal stuff due to Toei. Taka bringing up lawyers means that this is generally serious allegations slash slander, which again, we don't know what exactly it is. It's affecting some of his friends as well, such as Bo Sheep, which again, some people are saying that it's affecting friends. I don't know, but again, it's just a weird situation overall. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think there's something going on and a little bit more going on behind this situation? Because again, they have not clarified anything really at all what is actually alluded to this. But yeah, very interesting overall. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go over to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there, so I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So see ya.